Hi everyone, this video is going to be about turning your drop paper into something artsy, if you can say that. And this is for all those who told me my drop paper don't look like yours. Of course it doesn't, but I'm going to show you how I'm turning something that look like this into something that you can work on and do beautiful things on it. So basically, as you can see, this is all jumble of smearing paint and stamps and whatnots. Now it's my paper is 50 by 70 centimeters. It's 120 grams, and basically I want to make it into something cohesive, like any other busy and colorful background that you are making. Like if you are using a lot of painty papers and you want it to make it all come together, there are several techniques, like when you use gesso and diluted gesso and go over everything, so it all toned down and more again cohesive. So that's one technique. What I'm usually doing with my drop paper, I'm deciding what color I want the background to be. Now I don't want to cover everything. I want to use what already is here in my background. So I want something that looks like this to turn into something like this. Here I decided I want my background to turn into some kind of green, but you can still see all the details from my drop paper. And on this, now I can build more layers and do whatever I want. So basically, I'm turning this down. This is the drop paper I'm going to work on. I'm sorry if not all of it is in frame. I've tried, but I can't fit all of it. But I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Now I've picked, you can do it with acrylics, you can do it with sprays, for textile sprays, because they are not transparent all the way and they are not opaque, they are in between. I'm going to use, because it's drop paper, I don't want to use my good paints. I'm going to use this. These are gouache. They are the simplest, cheapest paints there is here. They are used for kids, and I'm going to use this. Now you can do the same thing with acrylics. I'm going to use both of them because I want something in between the blue and the purple, and I'm going to use moist sponge because I don't want it to cover everything. I want it a little bit of transparency. So I'm going to put a little bit of paint here. Now the purple doesn't want to come out. Okay, I'm going to try and see if I can move a little bit to be in frame here. Okay, so now I'm taking the sponge and putting a little bit of water in it. I don't want it to drip water, I just want it moist. And taking both of the colors and starting to go all over my page, all over this paper. It's more like tinting the paper than painting it. and it's basically it's the same technique as taking gesso and covering everything up, but here I'm deciding on the background and just making everything come together. And of course, if something is not quite to my liking, I can go over and over again and add as I go. And it doesn't have to be all blue, it doesn't have to be all purple. Just play with it. What the worst that can happen? You just draw paper and you can do whatever you want on it. I think it's kind of fun. It's freeing. You don't have to, it's not your art journal. You can do whatever you want on it. There is nothing that you can say it went wrong. You can experiment on it. You can just smear paint and have fun. This is one technique, and there's lots of others. One time I took all the leftover of my napkin papers and just glued them all over my drop paper and made a very colorful background, and allowed me to work on it and build on it more layers. So you can do whatever you want on your drop paper. I need more purple. So basically this is it, and when I'm finished and it's dry, I'm going all over my page with white glue. It seals it and it allows me to work on it and build more layers. And I don't know, but for me it works great when I'm like sealing this first layer with glue. You don't have to. For me, it just worked in the past, and I liked the results. Again, you should experiment. It's just drop paper. Do whatever you want on it. Feel free. This is your chance to do whatever you want, and repeat like mantra. What the worst that could happen? As you can see, if I'm adding in some places where I think it needs more paint. And basically this is it for making my drop paper more cohesive, more together, if you can say that. So I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going all over this with the white glue, and when it's dry I'll come back and start building layers. I'm back. So the drop paper is now dry after I've put a coat of white glue, and there are two ways to go about it now. And I've divided my drop paper into two so I can show you what I'm going to do. There's two ways. One of them, you can go with contrast, and that means that if I have got here oranges and pinks and yellows picking out, I can now take this kind of colors and start to build more layers with stenciling on this, and you will have a contrast that will come together with all those things that you already have in the background. The other way to go is to enrich your already a bluish, greenish and purple background, and make a layer with also with stencils, but with colors that will go with what you have in the background. And you enrich the color you picked for your background. So let's start with this side, so you can see what I'm talking about, and just picking this stencil and trying to move some of the things here so I will have room. Let's see. I'm taking a makeup sponge so for the stenciling. Just moving around and adding interest to the page. Treat it like any other page you are doing in your art journaling. Just build layers and interest in the background until you are satisfied with what you have. Another stencil. Again, just building layers and interest in the background. Of course, try, if you're putting like this orange color, try and put it where you've got blues and purples, and not where you already have an orange in the background. I really like this orange. I'm going to add a little bit more. And I hope I'm in frame. Okay, this is this. Now let's add a little bit of this pink, so because I have it in the background. Pink, magenta, I don't know. Let's see. I hope you can see what I'm doing, and I'll bring it closer to the camera. So this is the background, and I'm just building the layers. Now you can also use all those markers like a Posca pen, and which is an acrylic pen, and add interest to your page. It doesn't have to be with a stencil. Play around and add interest to this background. Okay, I think this is it for now with this magenta, and I'll take it aside just so you will see what I'm talking about. I'll pick one of those. This is new, first time. It's from the cheap store. I hope it will work. It's supposed to be like Posca pens, and let's hope for the best. Takes time until the paint is oh, it's starting to get down. Okay. As I said, adding interest and contrast. It doesn't have to be a stencil. You can doodle away and do whatever you want with your drop paper. Just use your imagination. So basically this is it. I'm going to work on it, of course, more, and I'm moving on to the other piece to show you what I've meant about the other way around decorating your drop paper. So now I'm going to instead of using colors that will contrast with the background, I'm going to use colors that will enrich this background, and I'm using the same stencil as before. I need another sponge. You see it almost disappear in the background, but you are enriching your background with more color. And if you don't like it, you can always do another layer and then go for contrast if you want. On this kind of background, if I will want something to pop up, I will probably use white and black, and probably some letters and numbers also with the stencil. But again, it's each one and what everyone likes. Not, it's a matter of taste. There are no rules for this kind of thing. Okay, let's see, let's add this and okay. So basically this is it. That's how I'm building my background. I will be back when I'm finished with the both of the pieces of my draw paper. So I'll be back. I'm back. So here are my two pieces of draw paper. Here is the one that I went with blues and greens to add to the background, and here is the one with the contrast that I added to the background. And I love this both of these pieces, and they are basically ready to be just as they are a background, or you can use it as cover to your art journal. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm thinking about painting some branches and leaves here, and we'll see what I'll do with it. I don't know if I'll manage to add it to this video, but basically this is it. And as you can see, you can do beautiful things with your draw paper. So this is it for now, and maybe I'll manage to add what became out of these two pieces. Okay, so I've kept working on this piece of my draw paper, and that's what came out of it. And the other one, I haven't decided yet what I'm doing on top of it, but it's a really nice background. Maybe I'll make it a cover to some journal or something, I don't know. So this is it for now. I hope you've enjoyed it, and bye.